Mr. DJ Rose, Verteezy, and C's. Welcome you to the No More Black Tears podcast.
Black tears that's heaven sent. Barack the first black president. I love my black skin. I love walking in black excellence. Black power, let's represent. All black, that's evident. I'm sure MLK and Malcolm X both didn't die for the hell of it. Strap your seatbelt, go and settle land. What makes you think that we would sell our land? We wouldn't sell our land. What makes you think that we would go ahead and try to sell out then? No more black tears, black on black kids. Love us as is, love with passion. Paying black bills, learning black skills, making black meals. Black is backing. Big shout out to Fred Hampton. I'm black and proud like I'm James Brown, but I ain't doing no acting. My people here from the motherland. This podcast now active.
No More Black Tears podcast, man. We back in the building, man. We at the next light, man. We out of traffic. Mr. DJ Rose's in the building. Caesar C's, man. What's good?
What up, people? Caesar C's back in the building as always.
Verteezy, man. What's happening?
Yo, we in the house, man. Let's go.
K Marie, what's up?
Yes, K here. What's up?
Yeah, Juice, man.
We in the building.
All right, man. So, man, it all happened in the week, man. So, what's popping?
So this week in sports, man, we're gonna start off with a little bit of madness because we are in the month of March. So, C's, man, even though the tournament is upon us, they haven't did selection Sunday yet. It's been a lot of interesting storylines in college basketball for men's and women's. What's something you want to touch on, dog?
I told y'all, Juju is next up. Already broke the famous The Great White Hope's record, or she's about to break it. She's in that top three lineup with Caitlin Clark and I forgot the other player, but it was a player from like the early 2090s. Juju she's a fucking monster. She definitely one of the top players. I'm gonna love to see her playing the WNBA. Besides that, man, I ain't really been looking at women's too much, but South Carolina, USC,
Gamecocks.
the other USC, LA, they definitely doing their thing. South Carolina's still in it, and then it's a couple other schools, but it's gonna be a good tournament. As far as men's, man, what the fuck happened? I thought this was basketball, not football. SEC dominance this year. Not Clemson, my bad. Auburn, Alabama, Florida, Tennessee, fucking killing it right now. I don't think they're ultimately going to win that shit, but you're going to see them. They're definitely going to rank in the top seeds. They're projected to have at least 12 teams in this coming up bracket. Besides that, man, St. John's, bro. St. John's. They played that game against Seton Hall, and they showed the highlight when they played them about 2 seasons ago, man. Rick Pitino's going down. He's already a Hall of Famer, but it just proves to show you what a great coach can put together and turn around in the season. One of my favorite coaches, St. John's, I'm riding for. Got to ride for UH, man. You know, I love that old school shit from the 80s, so that's why I got a certain spot in my heart for University of Houston. They're going to be another one to look out for. But Duke, man, y'all going to fail. I'm suck a Duke. Besides that, man, it's a lot of teams. It's going to be a good – go ahead, start making your brackets now because it's going to be a good tournament. Look at the top 25. You got the AP and you got the coaches poll. Look at both of them. You'll get some ideas who you should go for.
Yeah, man. I'm happy for Duke, man. You know, Cooper Flag looks good, man. I know he got hurt today, or was it last night? He rolled his ankle, but it's nothing serious, man. He's probably going to be the consistent number 1 pick. Then, man, you and me was talking about Rick Pitino like a couple of days ago, if not a week ago, C's. Yeah, I'm happy for him, man, you know, because I remember he got ran out, I think Louisville it was, for all the allegations. He came back, and Rick Pitino is just showing you that he's still one of the best coaches, man. Because what he did with St. John's, because St. John's really ain't been relevant so long. Like, what he did with them, I think they're ranked number 6 right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's good for him, man. Shout out to him. You know, I'll let Rose touch on the SEC dominance, man. But for the women's, man, like seeing South Carolina continue to have dominate the way they've been doing, like I just love seeing that. Seeing Juju do her thing and USC be so great. But man, we talked about that one white bitch all of last year. It's another white bitch. People forgot about Paige, man. You know, UConn ranked number 3 right now. Paige has had a good season. She's probably going to go number 1 overall. And people forget how nice she was before she had that injury a couple years ago. Last season, it was her first year coming back from the injury. Now we see her fully healthy, and the number she's put up this season has been great. Like, she even beat USC in their rematch from, I want to say, the tournament last year in the regular season. And Paige looked great, man. So it's going to be interesting to see what some of these ladies do on the next level, like Paige, and to your point earlier, like Juju, because Juju, man, she's ridiculous, man. She really looked like she might go to the WNBA, and it's going to be reminiscent of when Candace Parker went to WNBA. That rookie season is probably phenomenal, man. Any thoughts, Rose?
Yeah, man. Dress it up and make it real for me. Love what that means. Dirty Sprite in the styrofoam. Spend a day to get my mind blown.
Hey, translation, I'm about to get paid over this fucking tournament.
Dress it up and make it real for me. We about to go to Nassau. $200 on the dash. But SEC basketball, man, they turning up. Man, the South's always winning, man. Florida, Auburn, Alabama, Georgia playing good.
Even Arkansas with Calipari been okay.
Arkansas,
Tennessee,
like
team.
And
man,
Georgia beat the number 1 team a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, man. It's crazy because we always talk about SEC. You think about football, but man, it's like somebody from the SEC is gonna win the championship. I don't know who yet, but somebody from the SEC is gonna win the championship. I think, man. Just like they going crazy today, they going dumb. So I'm happy about that. The South always winning. You know what I'm saying? The South got something to say. So usually be the Big East up north, you know, but the South got something to say today. So
for sure, man. Like, so them brackets will be coming out soon, man. So if you listen to the pod, man, you know, hey, go and hit up the episode on YouTube if you want to join our little bracketology when we decide to do our little No More Black Tears March Madness brackets like we normally do, man. Talking about more madness, though. Yo, between the trades that's been happening from like 2 weeks ago to some of these moves in free agency, it's been a lot of crazy stuff going on in NFL. Hey, C's, your team made one of the biggest splashes, signing DK Metcalf to the point where Big Ben got online and said, hey, man, DK and Pickens, I got a few throws left in me. Let's go. What are your thoughts on free agency so far?
And then they losing Najee Harris to the Chargers.
Is that a loss?
It's not, because we got something back for us. Like, you got DK, and, you know, we still remain with Pickens. Is now we only got to worry about the quarterback. They signed QB Mason Rudolph to a 2-year deal. I'm going to be honest, I don't know much about the dude. I'm just be honest, I don't. The QB situation.
You don't remember Mason Rudolph? He was the nigga that Myles Garrett tried to kill. He tried to kill that white boy on Thursday Night Football.
And that's another one. We bring up Myles Garrett, like that whole fucking just that whole situation with him signing back. Didn't he just 2 weeks ago? We talked about it. He said he wanted to leave.
He really wanted money. That's what he really wanted.
So that's what you do now. You say, "Oh, I want to leave."
I thought he wanted to win.
He wanted to win in his bank account, y'all.
And that's what he did. But that was a crazy. We'll see.
That was a straight hoe move.
But we'll see what happens with the Steelers. Hopefully, everything. This will be a great season. Need to get past the peak. Peaking right now. How can you lose when you're winning? It makes no fucking sense. And then like, what's the situation? Sam Donald. That was. I ain't gonna say it was a weird trade, but I was surprised. Not really.
Well, Geno got traded, and Sam just signed with the
Geno, and then
Seahawks.
like Pete Carroll's like he's trying to Are the Raiders gonna do something? I don't know. They might not. I don't know.
Not in that division,
man. So you said something to me when Geno first went there. You was like, "Yeah, man, they probably win the division." And I had to look at you because you was drinking. And I said, "Do you know who's in that division?"
And then I looked at my phone.
And you said, "Nah, they can't." I said,
"Nah, hell no,
bruh." And then you said, "Oh yeah, the Chiefs in that division, man." Man, so hey, man, Adams going to the Rams. I think that could be a big move. Me and Rose was talking about that privately. Now I would say this: he didn't look great when he was with the Jets the whole season while he was there. But I'm gonna put that on Aaron Rodgers' took multiple steps back, and there was a lot going on in that offense. Him being a number 2 receiver to Puka, I feel like Adams can really lift that team up. I'm sad that Cup didn't stay there because he would have been great in the slot, and it would be cool to see what Matthew Stafford could do. But hey, man, they decided to cut him. He didn't want to restructure his deal. Cooper Cup. Then you got Then you got DK Metcalf going to the Steelers. That's gonna be a great move. I remember when that move happened, me and Rose was on the phone. We was like, "Yo, that's gonna be crazy." But who's gonna throw the ball there? And they keep linking Aaron Rodgers there, man. I'd rather them bring back Russell Wilson, man, because you got to have somebody that can complete the ball deep and somebody that can contest on the outside, man.
Hey, but he was pissing in the water as soon as they signed DK Metcalf. He was trying to piss in the water. Talking about, I don't know if that's a good move.
Yeah. So, hopefully they get someone to throw the ball there, man. Hey, man, I was happy Sam Darnold got that bag, man. He had a great season. He got that bag. I don't know what going to Seattle would do for him, only because they lost DK. Even though I like Jackson and Nicholas Smith, that's all they got because they released Lockett too. So they do got a good running game. So this is just Sam Darnold's, second season to prove, hey, I deserve this $100 million contract, and I deserve to be in that conversation of, a top 15 quarterback in the league.
So what team you with?
The Seahawks.
Huh? Okay.
And then the last 2 moves, man, I'm going to combine this fourth one. Grady Jarrett getting released by the Falcons, even though the Falcons did sign Leonard Floyd. We'll see how that panned out for the Falcons. I just want to say, man, shout out to Grady Jarrett, man. I respect anybody who can't come to my city, and play for my team and put in the work. Grady Jarrett, we drafted him. He became an all-pro player.
He's actually from the area.
Yeah, he from the area, man. He helped that defense get to the Super Bowl that year, even though we lost, man. I just found out he signed with the Bears, man. Hey, the Bears, Chicago got somebody who's gonna come to work every day and put in the work. I don't know, can he still play at our level? But he still got 1 to 2 years left of playing.
They probably need that veteran. You know what I'm saying?
And then lastly, man, Larry Tunsil going to the Commanders, man. I think that was a great trade for them, man. We talking about somebody who's a top 5 left tackle in the game. Now you're going to have someone to protect Jaden Daniels, man. You already traded for Debo, man. So, they're making moves to solidify that team and give Jaden Daniels a chance to be successful, man. So, I'm excited by that. And shout out to the Ravens for signing Hopkins, bro, because that's where receivers go to die, man. We saw what happened with Deshaun Jackson.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
We saw what happened with Odell Beckham. We saw what happened with Dez Bryant. Whenever it's time for a receiver to retire,
Steve Smith Sr.,
you go to Baltimore and you die. So hey, Hopkins, I told Rose, I thought you was done. Now I know you're done.
Yeah, man. So shout out to Daniel Jones, man. He walked up to Anthony Richardson and said, "Here, hold this. You my B now. You a hoe. I can go anywhere to go." But I said, where can I go? I'm going to go to Colts because I think I can beat you.
That says a lot, man.
And so, Anthony Richardson, if you're listening, you got to do something. You got to step your game out. It's your 3rd year in the league now. Daniel Jones, is tripping over his shoelaces, and he came in. You can't let him beat you out. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to them. And the 2 crash outs and Steeler Nation. So, if Aaron Rodgers goes there, it's like, how's they going to beat him up on the sideline?
Every incomplete pass is going to be an argument.
There's no way Aaron Rodgers goes to the Steelers.
Especially if you're talking about a quarterback there. When he throw an incomplete pass or interception, he love to call out the receivers.
Yeah, there's no way he's going. He's not going to Steelers because you got 1 crash out on the left. You got 1 crash out on the right.
I don't know if they're going to win a lot of games in Pittsburgh this year.
And then you got the white crash out in the middle.
They're going to win the fights, though.
That's going to be entertaining.
Oh,
Are
man.
you not entertained?
Oh, man. That's gonna be crazy. And shout out to the Dallas Cowgirls. You know what I'm saying? I seen them doing the mannequin challenge on the private
you
jet.
saw that too? Yeah, I saw that.
Like instead of them signing players, they doing the mannequin challenge. Like we doing rich people stuff.
Yeah,
we doing rich people stuff. We on the jet.
We making money.
We over here just playing. You know what I'm saying? We ain't signed nobody.
I think they did make 1 or 2 signings. But
It made no real
it was like
sense.
1 year deals though. It wasn't nothing crazy.
They was their players though.
They re-signed one of the players. They lost some players. Nigga, you still got to re-sign Micah, man. Come on, pay that nigga. Jerry, what you doing?
Cleveland Browns. What are y'all gonna do? Y'all got the number 2 pick.
Ooh.
You signed Kenny Pickett. They say you got the richest man on the planet on you, busting out Achilles. He should have been, instead of massaging his balls, they should have been massaging his Achilles because
Facts.
instead of busting nuts, he busting Achilles back to back. So I don't. Browns, you got to do something instead of just pooping over everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the dog pound.
Do you think that re-signing Myles Garrett was even a good decision since you bring up the Browns?
No.
Like, wouldn't it have been better just to trade him, try to get a first round pick for him, maybe?
Yeah, they could have got a first and a second.
Exactly. Just rebuild that whole thing, dog. Because you got the number 2 pick overall. You're going to take a quarterback.
You could have took a quarterback, but Tennessee, North Memphis, South Memphis, Middle Memphis,
Little Memphis.
Shout out to Eddie George. You know what I'm saying? He signed for the coach. What team he signed the coach?
He's an HBCU coach.
No, he's not with Tennessee State anymore. He just signed.
He left there?
Yeah, he signed
North. Was it Northeastern or was it Bowling Green?
Bowling Green.
Bowling Green.
Oh, shout out to
Bowling Green.
I didn't know that. Shout out to him then.
Just 3 hours ago, Gardner Minshew got signed to the Chiefs.
Oh wow!
I know it's backup. I'm just saying.
But yeah, but we talking about backups now. How about shout out to Zach Wilson? You know what I'm saying? Because you remember when your boy got hurt, Tua in Miami, MIA. He was MIA. Miami.
That shit was terrible.
And the backup quarter was MIA, but now they got Zach Wilson. So once Tua gets hurt again, they got a backup quarterback.
If you're a MILF in Miami, run.
Yeah. So shout out.
That's the MILF Slayer.
Wow.
Shout out to him. So I think Najee Harris to the Chargers is a good deal because they like to run the ball, and all he does is run the ball. He go get 1,000 yards there. So I think that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, him and JK gonna be a nice backfield, man. It's gonna be better than him and Gus Edwards.
Yeah, so that's an upgrade for them.
But when you think Najee, quick question. When you think Najee, if he thought he was that nigga, would go somewhere where he could be the guy, I was surprised to see him go somewhere where I don't know if he's gonna start. Like, would you start him over JK?
Yeah, he's probably gonna start. He's probably winning
after the season JK just had
because he's always hurt. He'll probably get hurt in training camp.
Fair enough.
So, and Aaron Jones re-signed with Minnesota. So that's a sneaky running back for the draft. Not the draft, but you know what I'm saying, the fantasy draft.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so
would you have liked if Najee Harris would have went there instead of Aaron Jones re-signing, would you have liked that better for the Vikings?
Yeah, that probably would have been nice. But Aaron Jones, I think he's still got a little in the tank. As long as they got a backup.
He get hurt though, man.
Yeah, but definitely like Atlanta keep doing Atlanta things. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Falcons.
Where we drafting at, y'all?
Atlanta gonna be Atlanta.
Who we taking in the draft? We taking somebody from UGA?
Yeah, I hope so. We need to.
You saw what the Eagles did, man.
Yeah, we need to take some.
All them Bulldogs in our backyard, and the Eagles said we're gonna make the Philly Bulldogs.
Yeah. So, and like you said, Adams. When I thought that was a great move in LA. I think he got a lot left in the tank. I think he's gonna ball out there. With Stafford throwing the ball, he's a big receiver. Stafford like big receivers. You got Puka on the other side. They're gonna put Tutu Atwell in the middle probably.
Yeah, and he had a great season when Cooper got hurt, and when Puka got hurt early in the year. Tutu, for those who do fantasy, man, I picked him up a couple times in different leagues. He's a baller.
Yeah. So, and shout out to the Chicago Bears. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to protect their assets. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't got no excuses this year. They worked on the offensive line. They still got all the weapons.
Added Grady Jerry on the defensive line.
Yeah. So they probably
drafted top 10.
Yeah, and then their wide receiver from last year, Adumze, he got to step up.
And who's the coach they got? They got that dude from the Lions, right?
From Ben Johnson.
Yeah, Ben Johnson. So you got a great offensive mind.
So
hey man, hey Caleb, this your year.
Yeah.
Hey man, it's speaking of crazy years, man, and people having to like, pay respect. Moving on to TNT.
Dynamite.
Boom. So this past week we done lost two legends in the black community and just music in general. Dwayne Higgins and Roy Ayers both passed away from basically what I read online. I think Higgins basically had a form of cancer, bladder cancer.
Yeah.
And Ayers had been battling an illness for some time. Yeah, I got tears, man, because Tony is an amazing R&B group. Like you can definitely say if we just having a conversation in like the 90s, they're in that top 3 discussion with Boyz II Men, Jodeci, and a lot of other groups. The one that Cisco was part of, Drew Hill. Yeah. They definitely in that argument to be one of the groups. Like they got one of my favorite songs, Feels Good. So shout out to him. Rest in peace. And Roy Ayers, man. Me and C's like a lot of jazz music, and he just has a lot of just easygoing music, a lot of classic hits. Everybody Loves Sunshine is just one of them songs that, especially in the black community, like you even if you didn't know he made that song, you knew that song. So yeah, man, rest in peace, man. I was happy that he lived a long life, so rest in peace.
Yeah, he was one of those Roy Ayers. He's one of those like pioneers as far as like jazz. They call it a jazz fusion, but I mean, like you hear like the keys, dun, 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 like it's been sampled so many times in so many rap records, and like a lot of his records have that like different sound. Like you talk about people like Quincy Jones and a lot of these other artists, but Roy Ayers really had one of those fusion sounds where I ain't gonna say it was futuristic, but it was ahead of his time, and it proves to be classic timeless music because to this day people are still sampling it, and just those iconic sounds like you hear it in movies and different places. And then as far as Higgins, man, Dwayne, Tony, like you think of Raphael Sadiq because he had his big solo career. He was like the main one, but you got to realize that was his older cousin. So it's like, who do you think put him on? And it's like, it wasn't like he just went to the background. He was a producer also.
And to your point, putting people on, man, I found out like when he passed away, apparently he was one of the people that got Destiny's Child into the industry. And Keisha Cole started her career under like his House of Music, whatever. And he mentored her, man. So those are two groups, like Destiny's Child and Keisha Cole, that he basically helped get them to the level they at.
Yeah, I got tears too. It's double tears, but yeah, I got tears. But it's like, I always gotta try to make it a little funny. But how y'all got a group named Tony? Ain't nobody named Tony.
That's the kids though.
Growing up as like, I thought all their name was Tony.
I thought it was Tony with an E, Tony with an I, and Tony with a Y.
I thought all their name was Tony. Growing up, like
catchy.
But you remember
So do anybody know why they're called Tony? Do anybody know why?
They had a cousin that was named Tony. And then they had
this is a real story. Or this bullshit.
No, it's a real story. Then on the other side of the film, they had another cousin named Tony. Then they found out their cousin that died was named Tony. So it was like, shit, why would you?
So everybody had somebody named Tony.
Nah, that was bullshit. They the story I heard was they literally was like, hey, we need something catchy, and them niggas was like literally like smoking and drinking, and it was like, fuck it, why don't we just call Tony? Like literally, I think they came up with that shit when they was like partying or some shit. Like they was in the studio and they like fuck it, Tony.
Isn't there like an R&B artist and he like named all his sons the same name or some shit?
I don't know which one, but
I know George Foreman did that shit, but he took a lot of hits to the head.
Yeah, so but also like speaking of Tony, I know the group In Vogue, her Dawn Robinson, she came out 2 days ago talking about she'd been homeless, and then she blamed Raphael Sadiq for her being homeless.
What? Because she's basically saying
because they was in a group together, Lucy Pearl, the group.
Yeah.
So she said,
I love that shit. Dance Tonight. That's my shit.
Yeah. So it's like she blamed him like for being homeless because I guess she didn't read the contracts good enough or whatnot. I don't know. But like, how you living in your car for 3 years? Any grown man, you say, oh, I saw In Vogue, they would have put you up.
Yeah, but everybody's not trying to be in a situation shit like that.
When you homeless, you got to get in where you fit in.
Wow.
Man, we have no tears for that.
Man, if that pussy worked for her, she shouldn't be homeless, man.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, you gotta use what your mama gave you.
Exactly, man. So
No woman should ever be broke.
Homeless?
So talking about being homeless, man. You know, there are some Airbnbs you can rent out for like months if you want. So people was going online sharing their Airbnb horror stories. So, you know, we as a group have rented a couple Airbnbs together. See, like what's some of the horror stories that you saw posted online, or maybe your personal experiences?
The crazy ones I seen where it's like they had like cameras in the bathroom and weird shit. Like they had cameras in the bathroom, cameras in the bedroom, hidden and shit. And then it's like one not so crazy story was like basically like they want people to take the trash can out to the road, and then after the trash comes the next day, bring the shit back. I'm just like, it's your fucking house. I'm not taking your trash out.
They don't want to get fined.
Fuck that. I paid you. Why the fuck am I paying a cleaning fee if it's your fucking house?
So you want them to pay somebody to come take the trash can?
Yes. Yes, come that whole situation.
No, they're supposed to just take that on the L. Like they get it next week. Don't come over there.
To roll that trash can down the street.
I paid money
to be
stay
fair,
there.
to C's point, each host, you can choose your own cleaning service. And that's why some Airbnbs, the cleaning fee is more than others. So if you want me to roll the trash down, man, that cleaning fee better be cheap as hell. Then
So
that shit better be like $10.
If it's in the agreement before you book it, I mean, you do what they say.
Yeah, that's why you got to read the fine print.
Got to.
They send it to you before you pay your money.
Yeah.
And then with like the weird shit where like somebody's living in the back.
Oh, it was like the secret room shit.
But they didn't tell them
Yeah.
that somebody was living there. So it's like, who the fuck is this? Oh, hey, how you doing? I'm Bill. I'm the son. I'm the nephew or whatever. It's like, why didn't you tell me somebody else was
Stevo Airbnb?
And then don't park on the street, all that bullshit. It's a lot of stories.
I got a horror story for you. Boom. They take the pictures to make it look nice. So we got an in-ground pool. And then you pull up,
Hey,
and
I
the
was just about to
pool
talk
is
about that.
not in-ground.
Well, they didn't say it
It's
was
a
They didn't say it
in-ground.
was in-ground.
Plastic.
They never said it was
They
in-ground.
never said it was in-ground, but the picture didn't make it look different.
Yeah, it looked like it might
We
have
got a pool for partying. And you pull up, it's like, what is this bullshit wrapped in plastic?
been. But actually,
Finesse. It's finesse.
yeah, actually, because this one is about the owner's nightmare stories. We can go all day about renters' nightmare story, but this is like the owner's nightmare stories. So, have y'all ever? What owner stories have y'all seen? Like, I know one we seen this week was like they put it. There was a lot of noise and they was in there making a porn.
Oh yeah, the porn studio.
And like, what? You know,
You can rent it for whatever you want, though.
yes, you know when you rent this out, you think they just gonna go in there and go to sleep. They
Facts.
effing in every room, every counter.
People
You got
they do
All
say
on the
no
couch.
parties though. They say
That's not a party.
All
it
you-
is a party.
Or less people
Porno's
is
not a party.
All you
Or
need
less
is three
people is
people.
not a party.
If it's
You
an
need
orgy,
someone- you need someone to
it's an
hold the
orgy.
camera. You need
It's
someone to hold
orgy.
the camera.
It's a
and you
barbecue.
need two people to fuck.
4 or less people is not a party. I
That
used
is
to
not a
manage
party.
Airbnbs up in New York, and the only thing I really experienced was like this one guest. She was like, "There's blood on the sheets," and I was like, "Well, I changed the sheets personally. There was no blood on the sheets." So she was trying to like dispute certain charges because she likes blood on the sheets, and I'm like, "Okay, but that's from y'all. Like, the fuck did y'all do in there? It's mosquitoes and shit. It's the summer. What did y'all do? You know?"
So, man, I know we had this one Airbnb, man. The porno one to me was wild. So, from the owner's perspective, because it probably was a horror story for her, we threw a little party. I'm not even gonna lie. The next day, she started blowing us up, talking about y'all had Laverne, I trusted you. Y'all had 50 people in my spot.
It was like 20
max,
You
20
know,
max.
I turned to Rose. I look at him. I told him, I'm like, yo, we might have had 20 some people, but 50.
we
Like,
had 50.
But when you book an Airbnb, pretty much everybody that's gonna be in and out of there is supposed to be like ID. You're supposed to have their information posted. That's why they say no parties. You know.
We had everybody.
But and let me
Did she have everybody?
let me get to the next thing though. So for her that was a horror story, but like me and goddamn Rose's felt. We booked it because when you looked at house rules, there was no house rules.
She had no house rules. She was new.
she was brand
She
new.
fucked up.
She got ran through.
She
got
new.
ran through.
She had
So-
no house rules.
And if you gonna get fucked by the best.
And she put it on discount, like, because we was like one of the first ones.
Yes.
So,
it was a bro. Roseanne actually the one who found it. He saw it. He said, "Oh, we need to get this. We need to get this. We could be smoking all up in there."
You knew it was a problem when you went to a white neighborhood
They had a bunch of niggas.
and all the white folks are outside picnicking.
You got a bunch of niggas.
And then they seen a bunch of niggas like us pull up and they like, oh shit.
They did say good morning though, so it was cool.
So if you new to the Airbnb process and you want to be a host, please make sure you put any possible house rules. Because if you don't, there are niggas like us that would be like, there's no house rules. We finna turn up in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And talk about turning up. Yo, we watched the Olympics last year. The track meets was amazing. I did not know they got down for their crown this way. So Aaliyah Everett, while she was running, apparently first place was pretty much sewn up. So her and Kaylin Tucker was battling for second. As Kaylin Tucker kind of passed her, Aaliyah Everett cocked back and hit Tucker in the head with the baton. And then she went on, the media on this tour crying, saying, I didn't mean to do this. Why is people assassinating my character? And now once that she apologized, I ain't gonna lie. When Rose sent me the video, I looked at it, I was like, yo, it didn't look like no natural running motion. It looked like she cocked back and said, bitch, come here.
Where you think you going?
Said, nigga, I got you now. Boom. And it just ran past that hoe. First of all, yo, I got tears because I don't know what this is going to do for a girl, the girl who got hit in the head record. Because I don't know if they're going to
I think they pressed charges on her too.
Yeah, but so I don't know if they're going to retroactively go back and give her second place. I don't know if they can do that. But it sucks, man, because track is one of those sports that you train so hard for. And the competition only lasts like 10 to 12 seconds. Because each race is only like very short. So I feel sorry for a girl because ain't no telling. This was the state championship, I want to say.
It's important.
So it was no telling how hard she worked for that. But hey, if there was scouts there, hopefully she goes to college for it if she didn't already have a scholarship. And hey, got to be a good sport, man. Sometimes you're gonna lose, man. Hey, it's okay to come in third. Just motivate, but don't just go into like whack-a-mole.
Hey, man, I always tell y'all, hit them on top of the head. Donkey Kong that hoe. There was no bar. She would have got away with it if it wasn't on camera.
If it wasn't on camera.
If it wasn't on camera, she would have got away with her. Yeah, so I got cheers for both of them. It was a sad situation. She shouldn't have did that to that girl. And then now that she get pressed charges though. Like,
yeah, and I think that's a step too far. She is a teenager still.
Yeah, so but now she's famous though. Now she can start her OnlyFans. Yeah. When she graduates,
TikTok.
She can do TikTok. She could be an influencer. Like she ain't even got to run the most. She can just run the track.
I mean,
literally,
you don't make that much money being a track star unless you just the tippity top of the iceberg.
Yeah, so now she can get on the track.
Yeah, I ain't got no tears, man. She also tried to come back and say like she said something to her. I don't know, like nobody put it out what she said to her or whatever. So it's like she caught back. She was like, "Oh, bitch, you want to run your mouth? Come here, gotcha." But I mean, hey. Put it like this: the next track meet she gets on, she probably gonna be suspended or whatever. But the next track meet, they're gonna know. Let me stay away from this bitch. So
yeah, he ain't playing with him.
Hey man, so moving on to somebody who did more than just assault, somebody who was convicted of murder. So Brad Keith Sigma was convicted of bludgeoning basically his ex-girlfriend's parents out in South Carolina, which is, for those who know where we at. South Carolina, depending on where in South Carolina, ain't too far from us. He's the first person in the last 15 years to be executed by firing squad.
Wow.
I don't have no tears, man. I wish they would have videotaped this shit. I wish they would have aired this on NBC, ABC, ESPN. Because like I said, when we talk about the death penalty, we need these niggas to see and these motherfuckers that think it's okay to take people's lives. Yo, we taking your lives. The only thing I'm sad about, if I'm being real, that he had a choice. I feel like, the fact that he got to choose between the electric chair, lethal ejection, and firing squad, I feel like the people of the family that he murdered should have said, nah, we want firing squad. Hell, if hanging's on the table, we want hanging. If guillotines, we want that. And then you need to air that shit so it can be a deterrent for anybody who thinks it's okay to go out here and take a life. So, that's dope, man. And that's even more dope than when I found out, like I told Rose before the pod, that the 3 people that did it apparently was volunteers for the correctional facility that he was at. And it's like, yo, bro, you get to walk around the rest of your life saying, I took a life, nigga.
Yeah, so I ain't got no tears because it's like, he got the choice, but it was like my thing was like people were upset that was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I was confused by that. Like, why y'all upset and y'all ain't want it to
Because I don't
happen?
think people should have, the ability to choose life or death or something.
Yeah,
It was
but
already
Did
said.
you know what I said? He didn't just kill his ex-girlfriend's parents. He bludgeoned them.
mhm.
Like, that means you beat people to death. Do you know how much energy and how painful it is to beat someone to death? Nah, fuck that, nigga.
Yeah, so
That nigga probably died in 30 seconds after he got shot.
so I ain't had no tears,
Probably less than that.
but it was good though, because I remember we talked about this not too long ago, few episodes ago. I know Vertizi was like they need to bring it back, and it was I think some people saying that they don't do it no more, but they still doing it.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was like me and Vertizi literally were talking the other day about it, and I was like, no, bruh, y'all misconstrued what I said. I said they never took it away. It's just it's not that common anymore. So it's like it wasn't off the book. It might be off the books in certain states, but it's an option. So it's like, and then like somebody was trying to break it down where it's like, so if you get lethal injection, it takes 20 minutes for it to break your body down. And you just slowly die. And then like if you get electrocuted, it's like they don't want to butcher it the wrong way. And it's like the nuances with
You
lethal
mean like in
injection.
Green Mile?
They don't want to make
Crazy
it
shit
suffer.
like that.
No, suffer,
Wow.
suffer.
And then it's like firing
What if it's
squad.
the wrong conviction?
And then like firing
Hey.
squad, it's not like they're
People die
saying
every day, B.
it's
Yeah.
not like they're gonna say, oh, boom, headshot. It's like, nah, there's a specific tunnel targeted to where they're shooting you. So it's like, it's not like no fancy shit like, oh, we gonna line this motherfucker against the wall, we gonna get 5 motherfuckers, and they're gonna do old school Nazi shit and just shoot this motherfucker.
So before we move on, C's, since both of you and me are certified to use pistols, weapons, if they came to you and asked you to volunteer for this, would you have volunteered for this?
Do you get paid?
If I was in a correctional facility,
No, just say military. It just
that's different. That's different.
In your field, if they said, "Hey, we looking for volunteers," would you volunteer for this?
they would military wouldn't do that. That's why I said if I worked as a correctional officer or in the prison system and it was on the table, I'd probably be the motherfucker in this tower. So what's that saying? What's that saying? Tell
Okay,
you.
so that's a yes. That's a yes. That's a yes.
I ain't gonna say yes or no, but I'd probably be in the tower. And I'd be certified to be in the tower.
Facts. I'm not that accurate of a shot, so I probably wouldn't just because I'm not that accurate of a shot. I probably would hit the nigga in the shoulder, man, by accident, fucking around. So, talking about, someone else who passed away because of the shooting. So, rapper Lil Ronnie, his 5-year-old daughter, died by a drive-by shooting. Both suspects have been arrested. One basically has already confessed. After, the shooting and everything, a couple of days later, the mom of the girl that was killed was on live. I don't know, Instagram live, TikTok live, or Facebook live, but she was on live, and she basically was kind of drinking, partying with her friends and family members, saying that she's not even sad that her daughter passed away. She's more so sad about how it happened, and that she just grieves differently. I got tears because a 5-year-old girl's life was taken. Like, drive-by shootings are some of the most crucified ways to take a life. Hey, I believe in that mantra that goddamn Jadakiss had in New York. A nigga deserved it when he dies with his eyes open. Like, shit, if you going to kill somebody, man. Because you got innocent bystanders that could begin, in the midst of your firing. So that's sad. As far as the mom, I told Rose I didn't really even have a problem with what she said or what she did. I had an issue that she was on live. For the simple fact of when you get on live, people grieve differently. So there was nothing wrong with her drinking. We've all had people close to us pass away. You get with friends and family, you drink, you do whatever vices you have, and you try to, console your pain. But once you decide to show the world that, it kind of can just misconstrue the message because you did have your 5-year-old daughter pass away, as well as your baby daddy or husband or boyfriend or whatever. So that was a weird situation. But I do have tears because, 2 people lost their lives, but more importantly, a 5-year-old girl who was innocent in this whole situation, who had nothing to do with anything that was going on, lost her life because of 2 cowards.
Yeah, I got tears, man. Mostly for the little girl, because she's an innocent child. The footage makes it worse because it's like, nigga, go grab your baby, grab your kid. Like, nigga, you like there's footage of you running away, getting shot. So it's like, damn, bro, you look like a bitch, like a whole bitch out here over that shit. So it's like I can't have tears for him, and then like I don't want to make judgments just from that short little clip because I don't know. Like she might have been on the stream for a whole hour and then like halfway through breaking down and shit, talking about like, oh well, you know, I'm sad how she passed, and you know, God got a plan and all that other stuff. But I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and make judgments because I ain't see the whole live. But if that is the case where you don't feel that way, I was like, you probably should feel a little bit worse than you do. And I know people grieve in different ways, but it just wasn't a good look. Stop putting, like we always say, stop putting everything on the damn internet. I mean, I know you want a message out there, but it just shit didn't look good. But you know, rest in peace to the little girl, man.
Yeah, rest in peace to her. Like everybody grieved differently, so it's not. I didn't really have a problem with anything that she did. Some of the things that the way she said it was harsh or whatnot. But stop filming. You know what I'm saying? Like you could have had a party. Maybe you got the life insurance and you about to turn up. Like, hey man, you ain't wanting the kid anyway, but now it's a blessing for you. I don't know. I ain't gonna put that on you, but you ain't got to record everything. Like you ain't got to be on live. Like y'all out partying. It's a bad look. That's all it is. It was a bad look for you and your family and for his family too. It was a bad look, and you put a stench on his name and your daughter's name too. It was just a bad look. I got tears.
Yeah, man. I don't know what's wrong with these moms. I don't know what's wrong with these niggas. But most importantly, I don't know what's wrong with these hoes, y'all.
I don't know what's wrong with him either.
So on the stance of being a hoe, let's start with the niggas. When you turn 18, I'm gonna say 21 because you got a few years to figure shit out. Once you turn 21, you got to stop doing hoe shit. Stop being a hoe ass nigga. If you're 30 something, you shouldn't be a hoe ass nigga. If you're 40 something, we got 60-year-olds out here being hoe ass niggas. And I'm not talking about being like. It goes both ways. I mean, you got to be smart if you're gonna be a hoe.
And for those listening, this is just our segue into. There was a woman that asked the question, "Hey, at what point in time does your pussy stop paying your bills?" Or in other words, to what C's is hinting at what point in time do you stop being a professional 304?
And then back to the main topic is like,
Never.
there is an expiration date on this shit. There is.
So pussy has an expiration date?
No.
It depends when you start.
Like you can't.
If you start at 30, I mean,
50. You can't be a 50-year-old and then be like, oh, I'm gonna start selling this cat now.
Why not?
Why not?
Oh, abusing the youth. I mean, you can, but it's just like
I said it earlier. A woman is never broke.
Here's the thing. If you start at 19, hopefully by 25,
You
have
figured your
secured
shit
a
out.
plan. You have property, you have an LLC, you're doing something. You do lashes, you do hair, you got a hair store. Because when you're in that industry, the people that you come across, it's really about connections. Niggas, it's not really about like selling the pussy, really. It's about the connections that you make through what you offer. So if you, 5 years in, like why you should have secured something.
so. It's just like if you work at McDonald's, you should have a plan.
Right, you should be elevating. Like if you worked at McDonald's for 7 years and you're still a cashier, you might need to do something different. It's like anything else. You know what I'm saying? What is your end game? So I really feel like, for the average woman, if you want to get married and have a family by 27, that shit should be over with. Unless you're really a professional at it. Like you got to be like Bertizzi will say, you got to be like in the gym. Like you work at one of the top clubs in your city. You're dancing, and then whatever you do outside of that is your business. You can't be like making, $100, $200, $300 plays, and that's your end goal. Like you need to have like a deed to like property or something. Like what is your plan? Like what are you trying to do?
Hey man, I remember when first of all, has anybody not seen the movie CB4? You don't know who hasn't? Okay, so there's a scene in the movie where the dark-skinned bitch Candy Alexander was telling the other young hoes, hey, and it was like, you a hoe. She was like, hey, when you can take yourself out to a 5-star restaurant, when you can pull up in your own Lexus, when you can have your own Rolex watch, and you can pay for your own house note, you ain't a hoe, you a businesswoman.
Right.
Like, So to your point, like if you get to the point where like these hoes in Atlanta, Vegas, Miami, where you in the gym 24/7, where you out here eating salads like Rose tried to tell a lot of you hoes 2 weeks ago, hey, you ain't supposed to be eating nothing but a salad.
Protein. You gotta get that protein,
you know,
man.
Y'all ain't supposed to be out here eating in and out all the time.
You be pescatarian.
You ain't supposed to be going to Popeye saying, give me that 3-piece and a biscuit. Hey, these hoes be doing that.
No.
These hoes be doing that. Like if you out here actually doing what you're supposed to be doing, then hey, I'm be honest. You could be like Melissa Ford and who that bitch that Jaylen Brown was with, and Jalen Green got pregnant, and the one that Ant-Man got pregnant and disowned the baby. Then you could be an old ass hoe. But for the regular hoes, this is for the regular hoes. By the time you turn 30, you got to stop.
Okay, here it goes.
Because by the time you turn 30, your body gonna start shutting down on you, man. You ain't gonna look the same you did at 22 and 23.
Some women look better. Some women look better.
For the average woman, now you're gonna start looking fucked up.
Okay.
The average woman is not a 304.
Okay, this one.
Today they are.
This one, yeah, that's what it's going to. But this is what we're going to. Okay, what's the difference between a whore and a prostitute?
Whores fuck for free. Prostitutes get paid, and it's escort. Prostitutes walk the street for $50. I mean, let's be honest. But the difference between a whore and an escort is escorts get paid, and whores just fuck.
Whores are more fun than prostitutes because prostitutes ain't gonna take half your bank account. like whores.
Gold digger will.
Whores you could just fuck for fun. We can bring a whore in here right now, and she might fuck the whole crew. A prostitute, she might fuck the whole crew too.
They gotta pay.
Y'all better spend like 2 bands.
It's gonna be a lot of money that's gonna be spent. So,
but the escort is not gonna give you an STD most likely, and that whore.
She might not. Yeah, she might give you an STD, man. Prostitutes are relatively clean, man. But I definitely do think, to your point, Kato, there's definitely an age limit. I added a couple years. To me, 30 is at the point where you probably should be like, yo, I need to try to start settling down. I need to start being more serious about what I'm doing. And I need to stop trying to, have my box pay for my pussy pay for my bills, because at some point in time, you're not going to be able to get the same amount of money you was getting when you was younger. Like, I know plenty of girls, I'm not going to say no names, that when they was between the ages of 21 and 27, there was niggas who just wanted to be their essence. So them just hanging with them niggas and texting them niggas, a nigga might send them 200 on the strength. And now they in their 30s, and these same niggas, they be like, well, damn, bro, I used to be able to go to the club and the nigga give me like 200 for drinks just cause, and I ain't have to do shit. Now it's like, you ask a nigga for 200, man, you got to suck some dick.
Right.
So, and that's because you don't look as good as you used to. Also, you got to keep in mind, there was this Matthew McConaughey movie where he said, I love high school girls because as I get older, they stay the same. Like, a lot of you hoes got to understand.
The competition.
There's a new crop of bitches coming out every year.
And the game is fucked up. So
I was fortunate enough to see one of my homeboys, Rose, graduate 2 of his kids recently, and then I had another homeboy, Juiceman, graduate a kid. Guess what happens? There's a new crop of legal bitches that come into the workforce and that niggas have ample opportunity to and access to. So when these bitches between 18 and 22, they don't even know their worth. Like, these young hoes don't even know that a nigga who giving them $100, they should probably be asking for $400. So when you get a nigga who I'm just saying, like, when you get a nigga who 45, and I saw this in factory jobs, a lot of these niggas who was making $3,000 a week was getting these young hoes $100, and these bitches that was 35, and they was bad bitches at 35. They was like, well, I need a band out of you because I got bills and shit. Them older niggas was like, shit, fuck it, give me that 21-year-old bitch, because all I got to do is buy her breakfast in the morning and get her a little meal from this store called Greg's, and she going to suck my dick in the back of my pickup truck or whatever.
Oh, no.
But that's another aspect to it a lot of hoes don't understand is the young hoes in the game, they don't even fully understand what they're worth, and they're badder than you because they're just younger. So yeah, at some point in time, you do got to realize I got to put down the job. Guess what, y'all? And I'm going to give it to Rose. I love Batman, but Batman could be Batman forever. He eventually had to put down the mask and say, hey, Terry, you got to take over the mantle, man. At some point in time, you can't be a hoe forever.
Let me ride on your coattails on that. Okay, back when I used to be doing my thing, I used to tell the girls all the time, because like you say, I done seen it, and I seen them when they was on their rise, and I seen them when they fall off. I used to tell the girls all the time, don't stop dancing. Dancing is hell of exercise. You guys just don't understand how much calories they burn and how physical it is dancing. Once they stop dancing, it's downhill. So like a lot of my homegirls that still dancing, they still bad.
Right.
They still on it. They still getting into the bag. The ones that stop, hey, it is what it is. But like a lot of, if you got a solid nigga, hey, he gonna ride with you no matter how you look. It's the growth. You know what I'm saying? It's all about. A lot of times it's just the personality. Like if you stand solid with me 100, I'm gonna stand solid with you 100, no matter thick or thin, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I really think it's no different than being an athlete. Like if your body is used to training 7 days a week, 5 days a week, as a man, and you just stop, you're gonna gain weight. You're gonna lose muscle mass, and so as a woman, especially once we do start getting into our late 30s, early 40s, like your body, your metabolism slows down. So if you're not keeping up with it, you're gonna lose it. You know what I'm saying? So you're not gonna look the same. But like I said, some women, a lot of women don't really get their courage till about 23 to 25 anyway.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of women hit their prime in their 30s when they take care of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as the cutoff age, you can't say a specific cutoff age because everybody's life is different. Some women start, unfortunately, very young. Some women start in their 20s. Some women start in their late 30s. But it's just like, what is your end goal? And what is your plan? Because fast money isn't necessarily consistent money. You might make $7,000 a month. You might make $15,000 a month. But how long can you sustain that? Mm-hmm. There has to be a plan. It's a hustle. Mm-hmm. It's not a lifetime lifestyle. Who wants to be ran through and shit?
I think that's the thing is a lot of people have gotten to the point to where they are basically, it's become their lifestyle. This is literally their career. This is what they do. The path that they've chosen is just like, oh, I'm just gonna be a hoe for
you know why? Because we done made being a hoe popular. We done made being a hoe cool.
But who is 40 rapping about being a hoe? Like who's 40 pushing out music about being a hoe? Really?
And you think about it like this, okay. Us as men, we peak out at our 30. So our sex, so we at our peak from 21 to 30. After that, you going downhill as a man. But a woman, she don't really start getting to her groove to her 30s, bro.
So we don't see.
So the older they get, the more they gonna want to fuck, bro.
Right.
It is what it is.
So this is what I say.
What that got to do with you being able to sell your pussy to pay your bill?
Men might.
You gonna want to fuck all day, but is niggas going to still pay you $250?
No,
$250 is nothing. Men reach their peak in their 30s and their 40s. Your sexual peak might not be there, but financially, that's when y'all have the power. 30s or 40s. Because be honest, in your teens and your early 20s, y'all was doing shit. Some of y'all were doing shit for bitches that you would never do now.
Because you had to learn. You had to literally build yourself
so
up.
For women, it's the same way. The game is bought, not taught. A lot of women, the game is not passed down to them. So it takes a little bit of wiggle room, to figure it out. But nowadays, it is taught to them in the songs and the music, but it's the wrong way. They're talking about fuck a wedding ring. What is that movie? Pretty Women, right? The goal is the wedding ring, bitch. The goal is the deed, bitch, in your name. Like, who can fuck a wedding ring? The goal is,
what are you guess what? About? That's retirement. You getting that wedding ring, you getting that deed in your name, that's you retiring. These hoes that are 3 or 4s in their early 20s and late teens, they get these NBA players like these white bitches do. Right. They get these NFL players. Hey, they done retired.
What does Summer Walker say? I'm tired of seeing all these white and Spanish bitches getting their bills paid and their men lead and stuff. And we're out here as black women struggling with 3 degrees, paying our own mortgage, taking care of a man, which is
and still selling pussy on the side and doing hair.
I don't know about all that, but it's like
I know bitches that got 9 to 5s and they still sell pussy.
But are they making like $100K a year?
Nah, they're not making $100K a year. That's why they sell pussy.
Level up.
Yeah, so I thought none get old but clothes, and you fold them.
Who said that? Hey, that's an old school phrase.
Yeah, I'm from the old school around here. So hey, if it's working, hey, don't quit it and let you go skip it.
I got one. From where you from?
I'm from Memphis.
Memphis? I'm from Memphis.
Make easy money. Them hoes are serious. So Like I said, Gorilla Pippin, knock the hoe over the hill, dunk on the hoe. She go work until you tell her not to. It's a lot of 50-year-olds trying to get some 50-year-old cut.
Hey man, so if you want to stop being a hoe, one thing you gotta master is your time management, and you gotta stop procrastinating on taking that next step in your life to better your circumstances. So for the last topic of the night, we're gonna talk about people who procrastinate, why they do it, what's some of the downfalls of it, and time management. C's. What's your thoughts overall?
Yeah, so all right.
And are you a procrastinator, or are you someone who normally just gets your shit done?
It depends, man. There's different people. I'll say this: everybody does it. You're a liar if you say you don't procrastinate on certain shit. Because it's just like if you say, "Oh, I don't lie," or "Oh, I don't do this, I don't do that." Everybody procrastinates. It's what are you procrastinating with, and how do you manage your time? Because like it's also different perspectives on life and how you do shit. Because you might say like somebody like, "Oh, this motherfucker don't never do X, Y, and Z," but on their time schedule, there's like, "Oh, you're not in their brain," so it's like they could have some shit scheduled out to where it works for them, and then somebody else is like, "I don't know what this motherfucker be doing," and then like they show you or they tell you, and you're like, "Okay, I guess it makes sense. It might not. It might." So, and then with procrastination, it's like people procrastinate with different shit. Like you might have somebody that does. Let's say you got two people who work 8-hour shift, right? Let's just say you work a desk job. You got one motherfucker that crams out the first 2 hours, and then by the time lunch, it's like, motherfucker, I'm going to lunch. When I get back, I ain't doing shit because I knocked my shit out. And when you get paid for 8 hours, I did what takes other motherfuckers 8 hours to do. I did it 4, or I did it 2. And then you got other people that's like, oh nah, I'm gonna spread it out, take time, and do this other shit. It's a lot of office jobs where it's like
I kind of saw that recently with Rose, man. He was showing me something called waivers, without getting too much detail. But he was just showing me coworkers who got a whole bunch of shit piled up and how his shit is pretty much done and accordingly. So I kind of see where you're coming from that. You can do it early or you can do it later, but you got to get it done within the time frame specified, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, that is the thing too, though. And it's like, all right, we'll take like the federal workers. Everybody says, oh, they don't do shit all day. They get salary workers. They get paid to do this shit. And it's like, it's a lot of these jobs. I'll keep it specific to the military, to DOD. A lot of these jobs, they get paid because of their expertise and because they're paid to be there. Whether or not the shit takes them like, oh, let's just say they knocked everything out and they're just on standby in case some shit happens. There's a lot of jobs like that. So, I mean, it's kind of a point, but to anybody that says like, hey, why don't you just knock it out? Different strokes for different folks. And I do say like, that phrase goes, why do what you can do today, why do it tomorrow?
So before I move on to Rose, man, if you had to lean one way or the other, are you somebody that typically gets their shit done, or are you more of a procrastinator, and why?
It depends. It's a case by case basis for me. Depends on what it is.
Let's say, which one are you more of the time?
So I say it really depends on what it is.
I give you 11 activities. Out of the 11 activities, 5 you're going to do on time, 6 you're going to do late, or 6 you're going to do on time, 5 you're going to do late.
I'll probably lean more towards get shit done, but at the same time, it might be one or two things I'm procrastinating.
Rose?
Yeah, I'm a morning person, so I like to get stuff done in the morning and then relax in the afternoon. So if I got lots of things to do, that's about now, I like to get it done in the morning time before the sun comes up. Well, not before the sun comes up, before you really get hot or whatnot. Like I work out pretty much daily.
The show he do.
And if I'm going to go walking or jogging, I like to do that before it gets hot. And if it gets hot, then I'm just going to do it inside. I'm just going to ride my bike inside. Like I'm not trying to be, I like to sweat and all that stuff, but it's all about, we talking about time management. So some people say like, I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do this. Working out is really a rich man's profession.
Facts.
Like you always see when you see people that's in really, really good shape, lots of them got lots of money because they have the time. They have the time and the money to put things aside to go do certain things. But you don't have to be rich to be in shape. But you just have to get up and do it. Like last time, because it doesn't take much to do it. So I might wake up like, I don't feel like doing this, and I just put my shoes on. I might not need to brush my teeth. I just put my shoes on. But brushing your teeth wakes you up. So that's the time I brush my teeth. So, but sometimes I just put my shoes on and just go outside.
Sounds like you talking about mentality.
Yeah, just go. And then once you're out there, like, okay, I'm gonna do this for 30 minutes or longer. You know what I'm saying? Once you get and then go inside, okay, and then go do something else. But it's all about me. Like even when I was in school, like in high school, I never had really homework or did really homework or studied or anything. But then when I went to college, at first it was like, okay, I wasn't doing well because I wasn't focused or anything like that. But then once I had my first kid, it was like, okay, I gotta focus down. I gotta buckle down. I gotta get this stuff done. So I will always break down the work. Like, okay, so it's due next Friday. Today's Monday, the week before. I'm gonna do a little bit today. I'm gonna do a little bit tomorrow. I'm gonna do a little bit the next day, and then by the time next week comes, it's already done. I like to break stuff down. So even with working out, sometimes I break it down. I might not do a whole 30 minutes. I might say, all right, 15 minutes here. Lunchtime, 15 minutes after I eat. Afternoon, weather's good, 15 minutes. That's 45 minutes right there in the day. And you average, you're supposed to do what 150 minutes a week of exercise to be somewhat healthy. So it's like, I'm doing that a day. So it's about, I like to break stuff down. Sometimes I don't like to just sit down and just cram out and do a lot of stuff. I don't like that because time goes by so fast. That's just me. I don't like to do that. So I like to break stuff down. So I might do a little bit here, a little bit here. But the fact is, you just have to just do it. Like planning out, time management. That's a time management. Wow. Like with working and stuff like that, like time management. Like you have to manage that time. You got to make that time work for you. You know how to say don't work the time, let the time work you. Or don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't make the money make you. That's saying that's how you got to do with time too. Like you have to like, okay, I know I need to do this. I know I need to do this. And sometimes especially like when people are depending on you to do this or do that, if you knock out your things and do what you got to do, you have time to slip off and do whatever I want to do. Or you got time to do this or time to do that. But when you always wait until the last minute, then you always rushing. And like time management goes along with being on time. I know the military, what the military say, if you're on time, you're late.
Right.
So, but every time I go anywhere or like, especially with work, I always try to be like 30 minutes or at least 20 minutes ahead of time. Because when I get there, I sit there like, okay, plan it out. Like, okay, I'm here. Then I can watch people go in. I can watch people. I can peep the scene. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you're on time and early, you get to peep the scene. You get to analyze things. You have time, but when you're just on time or late, then you're flustered. You're like you don't know what's going on. You're just there. You're like, oh, what?
You like Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, like you're chasing your tail. Like, I don't know what happened. But when you're early, you people see like, okay, that person came early. This person came late. Oh, okay, see that? You see this? You get to peep what's going on, like, and you get to analyze them, and then you be able to plan your exit. You get to plan your strategies on this person and this person and this, or everything. You know what I'm saying? Just that, and you have time to take a breather and relax. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I like to be on time or early and things like that. So it's just all about, and it's not a hard thing. It's just something that you have to do.
Yeah, it's almost like dieting. You just got to do it, man. It's like Nike said, just do it, man.
Yeah.
Like, if I had to lean, I'm more of I'm a non-procrastinator. I just go ahead and just do stuff. and just try to organize myself. So three of us at the table have college degrees, but everyone at this table has been to college for multiple years or is currently in college. I feel like, I don't know if it is now, at the time it wasn't. I feel like a class that should be mandatory, and it was mandatory my first year of college, was a class called time management. And I learned in that class that you have time to do everything reasonable that you're supposed to do, but you have to organize your schedule in such a way. So to your point, Rose, you can do what Carl said. I mean, what C said, which is I can front load my work or I can back load my work. Or you can do what you was talking about, which is I do a little bit here, a little bit later, a little bit later, and a little bit, down the road or whatever. And I think a lot of times we confuse what's important for what's urgent. Because just because something's important does not mean it's urgent. Like if something's important, it could be like, yo, I have this important thing I have to get taken care of, but I have till 2 months from now. But then something is urgent, which means it has to get done immediately. Now, does that mean it's on the same level of what's important? Nah. So you have to also understand, yo, I need to get this done every Tuesday, or I need to get this done every Wednesday. So I need to go ahead and on Wednesday, Thursday, whenever I get time, I need to start working on it and start organizing myself. And I need to say, okay, I go to class at this time, or I go to work at this time, or I have to spend time with my kids during this time, or I have to do this. And sometimes you might have to sacrifice some of your personal wants so you can organize your time appropriately. So maybe you can't go to the bar this week. Maybe you can't go to the club this weekend. Maybe that movie that just dropped on HBO Max, you have to watch it 2 weeks later instead of watching it this weekend because you want to watch it. Some of the reasons that I looked up why people procrastinate, and the main three reasons I saw was lack of motivation, fear of failure, and distractions. And I thought those all was fascinating because I think that that's true. Like a lot of times when people are not doing stuff they're supposed to do, it's because you're just not motivated. Like there's something else that you just rather be doing. And sometimes that something else is something as simple as I'd rather just be laying on my bed scratching my balls. Then you're distracted. You could be distracted with, for men, hoes. You could be distracted with watching TV shows, movies, playing your video game, just non-essential things that you should not be doing. But I found the fear of failure something really, really fascinating because I look at that more from a big picture. Like people who basically procrastinated taking that next step in their life. And I thought that fear of failure was interesting. So, Kay, are you more of a procrastinator? Are you someone who gets your work done? And what's your thoughts on time management and procrastination?
So traditionally, I'm hereditarily a procrastinator. My mom is a huge procrastinator, but here's the thing: I come from very intelligent people, but my mom is late everywhere, and I hated it. I remember being like on the choir. We sing on the choir. Church starts. Let's say church starts at 11. We get there at like 12. So imagine the embarrassment as a 9-year-old. You get to church late, and your mama still makes you go up on the choir stand. So not only are you late, but you're late in front of everybody. And I don't like the way that felt. So the way that I operate now is a little bit different than when I was younger. When I was younger, I procrastinated, but I wasn't challenged that much in high school. So it was strategic. Like I was like, okay, if I used to get dropped off at high school early. So I was like, okay, if I get dropped off and 30 minutes early, I can go in the guidance office, type up my paper, turn it in. That didn't work in college, to be honest. Small town living to, big university, that didn't work. So my thing is like, I am not a procrastinator when it comes to getting small things done or normal things done. But when it comes to like big life things, yes, I'm a procrastinator. So am I going to be at work on time? Yes, I'm going to be 15 minutes early. If I have a work assignment or something I have to do, it's going to be done. But when it comes to like big things, like I didn't even file my taxes yet. When it comes to like big, important, like adult things, I do procrastinate. And I think it's just because I've operated for so long in a way where I was on my own time that it's been a transition trying to go into adulthood and doing things like, okay, you have to file taxes. For example, I don't have health insurance right now. And it's kind of fucked up. You know why I don't have health insurance? Because I didn't pay my premium. So my premium was like $18. I thought it was more than that. It was $18. If I would have paid it by January, they wouldn't have done no checks or anything. But because I did not pay my premium in January, when February came around, I quit my job. They're like, well, you're no longer working here. Insurance is $432 a month. But if I would have paid my $18 premium, nobody would have been looking into that. Nobody would have been checking. Nobody would have been asking. So yes, I am a procrastinator, but more so when it comes to bigger things. If it's something where I feel like somebody's going to check me on it, it's going to get done. But when it comes to just doing things that need to be done for myself, yes, unfortunately, I am a procrastinator. But I'm changing that. But yeah.
So let's make the conversation a little bit deeper. So me and C's, we've talked about group activities, group projects. So whether it's a business, whether you're in school and it's a group activity, does that affect what you do? So like for me, example, if I'm in a group activity, everybody at the table knows I played football in high school. I played, flag football, adult flag football, most of my 20s until like my, early 30s. Me personally, if I know I'm part of something bigger than myself, it motivates me even more to make sure I get my portion of the work done. So if me, C's, and Rose all are trying to get a project done, and we have till June 10th, I'm going to be trying to make sure whatever my portion is done way before June 10th. That way I'm not holding no one else at the table up. C's, do you feel the same way? Does being part of a group kind of motivate you to work faster, work more efficient? Or do you just look at it like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do because I feel like this is the best way I work?
Depends on the project. Certain things, if somebody has a certain level of control, people are going to work how they work, regardless. Group settings might make things a little bit more like, it's like, all right, hey, I'm going to knock X, Y, Z out, blah, 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 boom, done. And then other people you might have, it's like, hey, I'm going to do it in my time, my way. So
is there that fear of letting the group down to you, or does that?
It's definitely gonna be a thing. Even if you got somebody that's like, let's just say they take forever to do some shit, it's still gonna be like in the back of somebody's mind, they're gonna be like, yo, blah blah blah. And then like, just bring it back to the point of like procrastination. Some people are actually perfectionists. You know what I'm saying? Like, they literally.
That was actually the fourth most leading reason why people procrastinate.
They'd be like, why does it take you so long? Motherfuckers is like sitting there, analysis. It was a phrase when I was in TAPS getting out of the military that was like, don't be frozen by analysis paralysis, where it's like, you're trying to look at the big ass picture. It's like, what if you just got this one or two things, bite-sized chunks, do this, and what's the next step?
Don't take that shark bite. Just take it a little.
Yeah, versus like, you just take it all on. It's like, yo, I'm doing it. I'm grinding. I'm toning this shit down. And halfway down, you're like, I wasn't that fucking hungry, my nigga. I'm about to throw up. Oh shit, I'm about to fucking throw up right now. Or like, oh, I'm overwhelmed. So I mean, it's a balance. It's just like people say work-life balance. It's an American culture thing too, though. Like compared to like let's say like Europe or Asia. Take Japan out of it, but like certain other cultures like Vietnam and like Western Europe. Germans are some of the hardest working, smartest people in the fucking world. They're very industrious, very blunt people. They will fucking work their ass off. But they party. Comparable to Americans, but when they party fucking party hard. But
you know something interesting. You said Japan. You know something interesting in their culture, right?
They work to death.
They work very hard, but when they clock out, as in terms of a whole shift, like if all of us work for the same company, they will all go out, and it's not seen as an option. It's actually seen mandatory. As you kind of have to do this for at least an hour.
And it's the same way in Korea too. It's starting to die out a little bit, but they do the same shit in Korea. But I mean, it's like I'll say this: burnout's a real thing. It is. Burnout's a real thing.
So that personal me time is important.
Yeah, it is. You gotta take shit in stride. It's a cliche fucking setting, but you gotta take shit in stride, and you gotta do what works for you at your capacity. You could argue with somebody, and you could say, if I was them, everybody always wants to put themselves in somebody else's shoes and say, well, if I was them, I would do X, Y, and Z. But like I said at the beginning, you don't know what's in somebody else's mind. So it's one of those things. Stop procrastinating. Yes, we want to say that. Stop doing it. If you can knock it out, do it. But also, if the shit takes time, I would rather have a finished good product than have some shit that was just thrown together. There's been a lot of times where it was like, all right, it's a group project or we all doing some shit together. You got one person that they just want to get the shit project over with. Where I'm like, we ain't even fucking brainstorm that shit. Like this ass.
But what if you have a time limit on the project?
And that's the thing.
Like the project has to be done within a month.
Yeah. That's the thing. Take a couple of days, get the shit together, make a plan, and then you all come together like, hey, we need to do this. And it's like in college, I had projects where it was like, all right, we got a month. 2 weeks in, it's two motherfuckers that's doing what the fuck they're supposed to be doing, and then you got one guy that's like, I was like, oh man, I had midterms and I had this other project I was focused on. I was like, all right, fuck you. We're gonna do X, Y, and Z. It's a communication thing. It is. It's a communication thing, especially when it comes to groups. On an individual level, it's just you got to find out what works for you, and you also do need to be.
So before I move on to Rose, man, do you feel like the advent of social media in today's society, as well as we talked about TV shows and movies, the fact that we have all these streaming apps at our fingertips
and information,
does that add to maybe someone's willingness to be? I don't want to say lazy in a negative way, but procrastination.
Yes, it is literally. We are blessed to be in times where we have all the information in our fingertips, but it just goes back to like reading levels, comprehension, and I can look up 50 things off my phone and learn like, what did you learn today? I learned like fucking 25 fucking things, but what did you actually stop and study?
So because
we're distracted. We're fucking
to Rose's
distracted.
point. So instead of getting up and walking for 30 minutes in your neighborhood,
you scroll.
You might get lost in TikTok or YouTube for 2 hours.
And that's the problem. That's the problem with our society today is we do that shit.
Whether it's informative or just,
because it's like
pleasure.
It's like you did learn something, but it's like,
or you might have just did it for fun. Might entertain you.
Did it help your goal? Did it push your goal? And it's like you have people that had to actually set themselves aside time where it's like, hey, I want to take chunks out where I'm gonna be productive, but I'm also gonna take out time to learn and read an article or read a book so it's a combination. And like I said, it's no one size fits all. You can say.
So what about you, Rose? Like when you're part of a group, does that motivate you less, more? And how do you feel like social media, as well as all the streaming apps we have, play into people procrastinating?
Like she said, you can get down that rabbit hole. Like people wake up in the middle of the night and then they start scrolling on TikTok and Instagram, Facebook. Next thing you know, they've been on there scrolling for an hour or so.
Yeah, I know you told me about a certain person who they'll get off work and instead of going to sleep, they'll just be on their phone for 2 hours.
Yeah, so, but as far as when you're in a group, I think that, well, for me, it motivates me more because nobody wants to be on the list. You know how you do at work, and when the supervisor or the boss come out and like this person on this list, I ain't trying to be on that list.
You want to be on the good list.
I ain't trying to be on nobody's list. I ain't trying to be on the list. I don't want you to see my name. I want to be absent.
You want to be that person where the boss don't know who you is.
No, you don't know who I am.
Because I do what I'm supposed to do, man.
Yeah, like some people are just always on the list. You know what I'm saying?
So how do you personally, before I move on to K, and we're gonna wrap this up, how do you personally balance stuff I need to get done versus my personal pleasure?
It's like Nike, just do it.
So you just take care of your business, and then when you got the time, you take care of the stuff you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, I'm a people pleaser to a certain degree, but what I realized when I got older is like everything will happen in its own time. When I was younger, I used to stress myself out about a lot of things I didn't have control over. Like, oh, I want to do this, I want to set this up, I want to make this money, I want to do this and that. And I realized that like once you just kind of relax and chill and strategize, things will work themselves out, but you have to have your priorities set up. Like, what is the most important to you? To me, the most important thing to me is my daughter. So there have been times where it's like, I'm gonna miss money. I might have missed like 2 bands, but I only get to spend so much time with my child. So it's like she's my priority. She's not gonna be little forever. She's about to turn 9. So it's like, man, fuck that money. Money will be made later, but you can't get that time back. So you really just have to strategize and prioritize what's truly important to you and then set up your goals and move that way. So yeah.
Yeah, man. So last question in terms of procrastinating time. What are ways to improve? So for me personally, I feel like you have to schedule out your time. So I remember when I was in college, every Sunday I used to sit down, sometimes with my grandma, and I used to look at my whole week and be like, okay, I go to work these days. I get off the time. I get off work at these times. I go to work at these times. I have classes on these days. This is my class schedule. And I would kind of organize like, okay, cool. I know I got a paper that's due in 2 weeks. Let me set time aside for this. I know I don't have a laptop, so I'm gonna set this time aside to go up to the campus and use their public computers. So I would kind of set time aside, and see, as you saw it firsthand, a lot of times I would be at the school all day because I would be in the library or in the computer lab doing work or whatever. So I feel like if you schedule yourself, and you look at your schedule for the whole week. And I feel like that's something that a lot of us need to do is each week or every month, look at your schedule the same way you would do your personal finances. Like, yo, I make this much for the month. Let me break down how much I can spend versus how much I can have for pleasure. Then on the flip side, I feel like this is the most important thing. And it's what Rose been saying all night. Just do it. There has to be that personal self-motivation. There has to be that voice that tells you, I don't want to get up and do this, but I'm going to get up and do it. I don't want to take time to do this, but just going to go and do it. Like, I cannot tell you that the broccoli is going to taste good. I cannot tell you the asparagus is going to taste good. All I can tell you is put it in your mouth and just chew. So, like, as far as, like, is it going to be fun taking that, like, hour-long walk? I can't tell you it's going to be fun. But put one foot in front of the other and just do it. So as far as like things that you have to do, just go ahead and put your mind to it and say, I'm going to do it. In the words of Roman Reigns, shout out to MGH, you have to learn to enjoy the suck. Because at some point in time, things in life is going to suck. And you got to be okay. And you got to be okay with that.
Like embrace the suck or something?
Yeah. You got to embrace it.
Trigger. Oh shit. Juice Man. Trigger. What the fuck?
Yeah, my man said a military thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Hey, sometimes the military get shit right.
Hey, I'm gonna say another phrase. Hold what you got. Hold what you got. Grab the mic. Oh, Juice Man, grab the mic. Hold what you got. Hold what you got. You tracking? Hey, you tracking? You tracking? Drop all them phrases.
Juice Man's backyard. Juice Man, what's your thoughts real quick as we wrap it up?
Embrace the suck.
Embrace the suck. Man, hey, it is what it is. Life gonna be life. You know what I'm saying? Life be life, man. Bottom line, life can be like.
C's?
Yeah, man. Like, we said a lot. Go back and listen to it. I ain't gonna paraphrase and rephrase nothing we said, man. Take what you want from the conversation, apply it to your life. If it applies, let it stick. If it don't, if whatever the phrase is, y'all know what it is.
Throw it at the wall. If it sticks, it sticks.
Yeah.
Throw it at the wall.
Okay.
So just like my nail tech was advising me, secure the deed. Y'all hoes be out here fucking for chicken wings and nails and $450 lace fronts and
Chop house.
Chop house. Y'all got Chop House where y'all at? Chop House is lit. I'm not gonna lie.
It used to be. That shit fell the fuck
Let's
off.
not.
Spelled it. California. Now California Dream is still popping, but Chop House.
Secure
California
the deed.
Dream never been popping.
Secure the bag.
Nigga, them crab claws. Come on.
Retirement age for 304. 35 is old as fuck. 27 is old as fuck. These bitches out here fucking at 19 securing the bag. That girl, what her name is? Whatever, Baddie, whatever.
Yeah.
She's like $1 million. She opened her OnlyFans and made like $1 million. Come on now. One day. Like, come on, secure the bag.
Yeah, man. We talked about a lot of time management, man, and procrastination, man. I just want to hit on something that's important, man. So earlier this week, I found out that I didn't even know Emmett Till had a statue in Mississippi which was actually constructed and rebuilt in 2022. It's never too late to do the right thing. Like Emmett Till died, I want to say in 1955. A lot of Donald Trump was born in 1945. So a lot of times, us as Black people, when we talk about racism, I got two grandparents. One was born in 1942, passed away a couple years ago. One born in 1944. The one that was born in 1944 is still living. Like when we talk about racism, let's remember there are people that are still walking this planet that was teenagers or right before adolescency, right before they hit teenage years, that was alive when Emmett Till was taken from his home, lynched, and killed. Mm-hmm. So you can say all you want that racism is that long ago. Talk to some of the people. Rose posted that we are now the ancestors. There are plenty of ancestors still walking this planet that are in our families. Talk to them. And some of them probably would tell you, yes, I remember. And I've had people tell me they are in the 80s. They remember when Emmett Till, they found the news that he was murdered. So please, we see the stuff this president is doing. Black people, we got to stick together. In the words of Airbnb and Rakim, peace.
Yeah, man. Y'all can catch us at the next light, man. We in traffic. And I'm back quiet.
Mr. DJ Rose, Verkeezy, and C's, welcome you to the No More Black Tears podcast.
Black tears that's heaven sent. Barack the first black president. I love my black skin. I love walking in black excellence. Black power, let's represent. All black, that's evident. I'm sure MLK and Malcolm X both didn't die for the hell of it. Strap a seatbelt, go and settle land. What makes you think that we would sell our land? We wouldn't sell out now. What makes you think that we would go ahead and try to sell out then? No more black tears, black on black kids. Love us as is, love with passion. Paying black bills, learning black skills, making black meals. Black is backing. Big shout out to Fred Hampton. I'm black and proud like I'm James Brown, but I ain't doing no acting. My people here from the motherland. This podcast now active.